I did a video about the California Vendor Law, Senate Bill 946, which is the Sidewalk Vendor Act that lets people set up in California in public parks, sidewalks, beaches without a permit, and do arts, crafts, business, whatever they have, anything entrepreneurial. If it's not food, you can set up and have no permit. Or if you're doing food, food handlers, health permit, that kind of stuff. But I talked in the video about how this opens up more opportunities for entrepreneurs, and a lot of things that people go over in their head before doing something independent is the taxes, or just making the switch because they're used to a W-2 taking out their money, and so having to keep track of their own taxes is it's a switch of mindset, because most people do have a job under a manager or an owner, a boss, where they are given a W-2. So a lot of people, they do have a good idea, or they have a great piece of jewelry or art or whatever their craft is, and they want to come out here and set up, and maybe just in the course of their life or where they're from, or just laws and stuff, they've never really had a chance to do something like that, but they can go to the beaches now in California. I'm here in San Diego specifically, and they can get their craft out there, start their business. So the thing with that, though, is you just report your own taxes. And this was the first year, 2020 was the first year that I worked the entire year independent without any sort of W-2. I was part-time with the W-2 in 2019, and then part-time independent. 2020 was the first year that I was completely independent. So just doing my taxes a couple days ago, I actually owed money this year as opposed to getting a refund. But it's fine. It just you just report it yourself instead of the company taking it out for you. You just report the taxes yourself. And I know going back and forth on the vendor law, some of the reasons that residents don't like the vendor law, one of them is they think that it's going to promote a way of people just trying to get paid quickly under the table. So coming out here and say they do photography, and so they take prints. I'm in La Jolla right now in San Diego. Say they take shots and prints of the ocean, the seals, just the wildlife, the sun, whatever, on their trip to San Diego, or just different parts of the world, whatever their niche of photography is, and they set up and they start doing really well, and tourists like it. Maybe they're making 500 a day, 1,000 a day. A lot of people are against the vendor law because they think someone like that is just going to try to come here and be under the table. And like anything, though, whether the vendor law happens or not, a lot of people will do that with taxes. Whether they try to get around it through their business, or thinking of ways to save money, or they don't report things. That's just an individual thing, though. So, if someone comes here and they have a rental agreement, say they're paying rent here in San Diego for $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year. If they're a photographer and they decide to use the vendor law and quit their 9 to 5 and come out here and sell, and they start doing great, obviously if their rent is $24,000 and they report, oh, I only made $6,000, well, obviously then there's a discrepancy in that. But just report your taxes. Just report it the way that you would regularly, like with a regular job. Just do it yourself. But I know a lot of people that are against the vendors. That's one reason. Another thing that I hear too is congestion, or some people think that because we pay taxes, these parks and beaches should be that's what it is, just parks and beaches. There shouldn't be commercial use. But the thing with that, though, is that we can have that mindset, and then so what's the solution? Just only a big business can ever do something, like no local can ever start something. I get the point of one, obviously we don't want to block walkways and stuff like that, and people have to police themselves, which you never know with certain people, depending on how big this gets. If people start using the vendor law where it looks like a swap meet out here, then for sure they're going to put more regulations on it, and where you can set up, and maybe the amount of people, or maybe they go back to permits. But as of now, the way it stands, where I'm at in San Diego County, it's free reign. So you can just take a plastic table with whatever you have and start your business out here. But like I said, we need to police ourselves so that things just don't get out of hand. For example, like I just said, walkways. Don't block walkways. use common sense. If you were walking at the beach, where would you think a good place to set up a business would be where it's not interfering with traffic or showers or things that are obvious? Also, too, if you see one person next to you is doing jewelry, they got their set up at 8 in the morning, and you have very similar jewelry, you just don't set up 2 feet from them. Maybe go to the other end of the cove, a different park, a different beach, or at least a couple spots down so you're not directly competing. There's a way that everyone can do well with something like this. But like I said, it goes to policing yourself, and depending on where everyone draws the line with all that, the government could come and have further regulations on the vendor law if it were to ever get out of hand in whatever sort of way that they deem. But I know one thing, just talking to the vendors out here and people that come up to my tie-dye table and ask questions about it, a lot of people do think, oh, well, like the taxes is under the table, or someone's selling their own handmade jewelry or photography or whatever they have going on. And someone's like, oh, well, are you reporting taxes? It's like, well, yeah, it's up to the individual person to do that. You know, that shouldn't be a reason to discourage vendors. Just come out here, be a vendor, do what you do, and just pay the taxes yourself instead of a W-2 taking it out. The point is to encourage entrepreneurship. We want people to be more independent within their own lives. You know, we want to promote success. We want people to get the most out of their lives in the economy and to work hard. It's about like telling people the potential they have, letting people know that about themselves. So just giving people an avenue to do that. How are you guys doing? The seal keychains are 8 and the big ones are 22. They both make sound. It's sales tax. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's hey, well, we don't use coins either. So what I do is I do the 7 3/4%, and then I just round. Yeah, just so make it nice and easy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, so that's the little noise they make? You didn't hear them over there? No. Oh no, that one the battery must be low.
Yeah, choose any of those.
You hear the difference? Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too, guys. But yeah, perfect example what I'm talking about. So I'm selling for this nonprofit out here in San Diego, and we we have sales tax here when we're out in public. And so the example of that woman coming up with her daughter, they bought a seal toy, and the way I do it is we charge a sales tax on the prices that the nonprofit has, and I just round because I don't deal with any coins out here at the beach. People don't want to deal with coins. So like an $18 short sleeve tie-dye shirt, that rounds to 20 because with tax, California sales tax 7 3/4%, $19.40. I'm not going to deal with coins out here, and it's a crisp $20 bill, easy, nice, just good to go. But tying that back into what I was saying with income tax. Now that was sales tax here at the Cove in La Jolla. But tying back to the video with the income tax, a lot of people think that this vendor law, if someone comes out here, they can just start pocketing a bunch of money. And like I said, you know, just be honest. If you're going to come out here and try to start a business, just do the taxes like you would anyways. Just you're doing it instead of a company taking it out and giving you a W-2. So yeah, just one little extra thing you got to do. It didn't take me that long. It took me like 40 minutes to do my taxes. It's just enter in what you make, and you can deduct things too. If you start using your car for a business and things like that, just kind of educate yourself on it. And you being independent, starting a business, following your dreams, the roadblock should not be doing taxes. You need to get to a place internally of being confident in your product, being confident in your service, most importantly, being confident in yourself. Don't worry about the legality, because everyone's going to have anything to say to you whenever you're trying to make a change or get the most out of your life. You know, you're trying to quit that job, you're trying to come out here like myself and be a vendor, or anybody else and be a vendor, and people see, like, you're at the beach and it's nice. I'm in San Diego. We just got into spring. It's warm. People are enjoying the water. No wetsuits. Just jump right in. How many places in the world can you do that and just be out here in the fresh air? And so someone starts thinking about their business idea, their art, their craft, their service, their life in general, and how they want to live day to day. And they see something that you're doing that's good for your life, and they're motivated by it, and they're like, and they look at themselves, they're like, wow, I could be doing some stuff like this. And so people that get that spark, like, hey, I've always had this these paintings I've done, but just like a hobby, and school kind of taught me, oh well, like art isn't really a real job kind of thing, and my parents never supported this art, my friends don't comment on it, Facebook, Instagram doesn't say anything about it, whatever the case may be in someone's personal situation, whatever is going on in their head psychologically. This could just be that they see you out here doing it and they're motivated, like, man, maybe my art can sell, so maybe someone gets inspired to come out here and make their own money. And so that's where you need to be. You need to get to the place of confidence within yourself to do anything. But like I said, these people come up, and whenever that guy gets the spark to come out here and sell his paintings, someone will just say, oh, well, like, what about the taxes? Right? Like, they're saying it to play the role of the person that, like, is informed and cares about your future, wants you to succeed. But they're really just, like, throwing some, like, negative Nancy kind of, like, comment, because, like, they don't see themselves ever starting a business, or they're not artistic, they're not musically talented, whatever the case may be. So it's just like, dude, they could just, like, that person could just sell their paintings and then just report the taxes. Like a group of strangers on the beach might, like, respect the art, whereas that person doesn't, because they're just being negative. So like I said, taxes should not be the reason that you don't start something. That's one of the main things people talk about with the negative side of the vendors, is the under the table, people paying cash. And like I said before in the video, just report it yourself. It's not a W-2, just do it yourself. Just be a citizen, an adult citizen that takes care of it. If you just bought a Mercedes in the year that you started being an independent contractor, a vendor, a business owner, you bought this expensive Mercedes, and your sole income is independent, you probably don't want to say that you made $3,000 for the year, right? Like, just be honest with what you made, or like you signing rental agreements, you have a mortgage, college debt, your food, water, a little bit of entertainment. Just be honest about, like, what you make. I'm not telling someone what they should or shouldn't do in regards to their legal business or their finances. I'm just saying, report your taxes, because a lot of people do kind of they look at something like this like, oh well, like, that's off the grid, but it's just like, it's not really off the grid. You can just do this job and, like, pay your taxes. We pay sales tax with this nonprofit. I charge sales tax every purchase, and it's just the way it is. That should not be the thing that prevents somebody from coming out here. And even like doing these YouTube videos, I do it on whatever topics. I just come out here to the beach while I'm working and do a video. The point is to motivate people, right? Like, I do this very informal because I'm just chilling, I'm casual, and that's a reason too. It helps my tie-dye sales, helps me be able to do a job like this in a busy tourist destination in San Diego. I'm sociable, and I have a vibe and an energy that I want to bring out here, aside from the tie-dye. So part of the vendor law is giving people an opportunity to become a business owner a little bit easier, make an art, a craft into a career, or a side hustle, a little extra money, just maybe a good day at the beach, whatever the case may be. But it's about giving people the pathway to really hit their potential. But the people that do go against the vendor law, the usual roadblocks, like I said, to them are concerned about people coming out here trying to make money under the table, and also just like the congestion at the beach turning into a commercial area as opposed to just a beach or a park. And as long as people regulate themselves, or at least try to, there's just some common sense things. Like I said, let's not block the walkways or bathrooms. Be courteous to people. Like, nobody owes you a sale. I mean, just keep it chill with people, regardless of their like religion or their race or why they're here vacationing or how they identify sexuality. Whatever the case may be, whatever that judgment or that thing is, just come out here and be a business owner. Just come out here and chill. Like, there's a way for this to not get out of hand. It could get out of hand very quickly. Like I said, if this turns into some swap meet thing where 500 people decide, oh, well, I just want to go make that quick money at the beach, not report my taxes, just block the roads, blast music, and then we have 500 people out here littering, like that kind of stuff, where we're not policing ourselves, not being courteous to someone, being rude, getting into confrontations out here over like politics or religion or sex or whatever the case is. Leave that at home, and I think we'll be fine. Right now, there's a limited number of vendors here in the spots that I sell in San Diego. It's definitely growing. I've seen an increase of it. This vendor law passed and went into effect January of 2019. I've been selling this tie-dye for this nonprofit since October of 2018. I was at a hotel at the time. I was doing it part-time, and then now I'm doing it full-time. But I've seen from before they passed the vendor law to now, before they passed the vendor law, it was really just my nonprofit tie-dye organization, another nonprofit, and a handful of people here and there that have had permits that they've been doing it forever. It wasn't like now you look in the weekends and you could see 5, 6, 7 tents next to each other in the park there, all doing their own thing. You got like sunglasses, and you got a clothing line, and you got paintings, and you got shells, and you got a guy that takes scrap metal and makes decorative art for houses, and creative things, glass wind chimes, bracelets. So the vendors are definitely coming up here in San Diego since this vendor law, in La Jolla, Pacific Beach, Mission Beach, different parts of the city. But I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to motivate people to be the best that they can be. At certain time periods and places, we're very restricted to like our birth circumstance, and the laws around us, the country we're born in, stuff like that, where, for example, my hometown, San Diego, I can come out here and make a full-time living for what I consider a full-time living. I'm living very, very minimalist, and my grandpa on my mom's side was in the Navy here in San Diego back in the 30s, so that getting in here when it was like super cheap, that has an effect to my expenses and everything. Even though I grew up very middle class, I'm just saying, I didn't just come into San Diego with nothing here. Like, I'm rooted here for a little bit for a very humble living. So me being able to sell tie-dye here full-time in San Diego, that's different than someone in Kansas, right? It's not going to be the same vibe. The tourism isn't going to be there to just sell tie-dye shirts. So the person that could do this job as well as me, or even better, they just had a birth circumstance where they're in Kansas. So when you start looking at life even deeper like that, it's like we're just very restricted on like things that we're born to that we didn't really choose. So opening up this vendor law, not just here in San Diego or in California or any other part of the country, it gives a pathway for people that maybe they've always had that business idea, but they've always been around. They're in a small town, like I said, in Kansas, and they're only around like friends and family, like this little small town, and so they know personal things about that person just growing up. Oh, I remember you when you were 1 and were crying because you stubbed your toe, and then like your parents split and that caused some drama in the house, and so you had that bad day when you were a kid. So like people just know that about the kid. So then they grow up in Kansas in this small town, they have a business idea. Well, people have already evaluated them, so like they just like chop it down like, oh, you're not a business owner, you're just that kid, or like you're just a farmhand. But like opening it up to where they can go to their downtown or their town square, or if they live here, the beach, and like they can go in public and display their business with an easy path to do so, no permit. A stranger walking by might respect that person in a way that they don't get with their own people. The love and the respect and the support might come from letting the person come out here and do their thing. And I think it's a good thing to open that opportunity up for everybody.